because really it's Marcus Dunston's voice on that interview, and really it's his choice to where his voice is going to be.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I don't even know what to say about this whole thing. This thing with the franchise. Do you think it's dead? Have we seen the last of Michael Myers?
You could have said that with how many franchises. I mean, I did another video blog a long time ago about how many franchises are being rebooted. Everything from Logan's Run to Buck Rogers. Now we have The Flash. We have all these Wonder Woman. We have all these franchises from the 70s they're talking about bringing back in some mode of film or television. So no, if they decide 10 years from now to redo the original again or just start it from scratch, I think it'll be back. I think there's too much more to explore about it. I mean, I think going even further back and exploring that family, maybe a prequel, maybe about, the Myers family going even before Michael. There's so many directions you could go with a series like this. They're redoing It from Stephen King.
I heard about that.
So, it may take time, and we may be older and hopefully wiser, hopefully still around, obviously. But I mean, Jason's not dead. Jason's coming back in a year or two. They're just switching writers and producers. Friday the 13th is just switching around some, and I don't even know what Friday the 13th is going to be. I don't know if it's a sequel to the one they just did. I don't know if they're going back to the older franchise. I don't know. I don't even know where this is. It another reboot? I don't know. They haven't mentioned anything about this Friday the 13th other than they're making another Friday the 13th. So I don't even know what this one's even going to be. So I think the same goes for Halloween. I wouldn't mind them even doing a Halloween where Jamie and Michael aren't brother and sister, or I'm sorry, Laurie and Michael are not brother and sister, and he's just randomly killing, and we don't. That was the best part about The Shape. There was no reason. He just did it. I think Halloween 2 made a mistake with the whole brother-sister thing. That's just my personal opinion. I like part 1 because it was just a shape. He chose.
Sorry for interrupting, but I have to ask, did you like Halloween 7?
That was H2O, right?
Correct.
I think it was done in more of a Scream style. I think it was done differently than the Halloween films that had preceded it. It had, the soundtrack was off. Having Jamie Lee Curtis back, it was a good gimmick, obviously, that she faked her death and Loomis helped her. I think it would have been much better had Donald Pleasance been alive. I think that would have added a lot. I think, in fact, for me, that was, I think, the main difference in seeing a Halloween film without Donald Pleasance in it. Something was missing, and it would have been cool if there was a Loomis character. At the beginning, there was that African-American detective who he was going to call Haddonfield and this and that. That would have been cool if maybe he had found out what was going on and shot out to California to intercept Michael and figured out the whole Carrie Tate thing. I think that was missing. That it was just the Laurie against Michael, and there was no person in pursuit, if you follow me. There was no Donald Pleasance type character. That was missing.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I don't understand why they did what they did with H2O, talking about they wanted to focus more on Laurie. I don't really know what that means, and I just thought it was a selfish thing on Jamie Lee's part, and I'm not afraid to say so. I thought H2O was made for all the wrong reasons. She did it, and she wanted to make it all about herself. I think it should have been more about Michael Myers. What are your thoughts? Did you like the story at all, or what?
Well, I like the PTSD part of the story because I could, I know veterans who, even from Vietnam, who still suffer PTSD to this day. So what she went through that one night, obviously, but the fact that there was no connection, that she would leave a daughter behind, to be watched over by this doctor guy that she barely knew, and of course her daughter Pat was killed, and then she has a son, and we don't know about her life. I would have liked to have heard more about her life between the 78 and where she was. We didn't get into that. The son angle was okay. I mean, we knew it was going to be a couple of kids who were going to get cut up and killed, and yeah, you were going to have a couple of survivors. It was okay, but I mean, if Jamie Lee Curtis wanted to do it all about her, she got bit in the butt, because the one thing she insisted upon, and she's been interviewed about this, is she definitely wanted this to be the last one. She wanted to kill him, be done with it, and this was all about her ego. She said, I wanted to kill him, I wanted to be done with it, haha, I win. Laurie Strode's the big hero. But in the Halloween franchise contract, which she never read, which she never knew about, it says Michael Myers cannot die. So she screwed herself. She got a kick in the ass at the end, when she got done with H20, because she found out that even though you cut off this person's head, he's not dead. So then she had to do that whole beginning part in Resurrection, where she had to be in the asylum and he's chasing her. And of course, even though she had him on the rope in the trap, she still couldn't kill him. She could have flung him off a building and blown him up or whatever. To see him finally get Laurie after 8 movies. Okay, she got what she wanted to have the ego. Well, part 8 was Michael Myers coming back and going, well, screw you, Jamie Lee Curtis. You can't kill me. It's in the franchise contract. So in the end, it wasn't about her. It was about the franchise. And the franchise is bigger than one person.
I always thought so. And a lot of people say, well, why are you so negative, this and that? Look, I'm not negative. It's just that I believe that the franchise should be more than about one guy. It's not just about James or Tom or Bob. It's about everybody. We're all a team,
That's right. And Jamie Lee Curtis went into this thinking she was going to be Superman, and she was going to defeat the big bad evil, and she never read the franchise contract was something she was never aware of, and it came back to kick her in the backside. So if she thought her ego got the best of her. She's moved on, obviously, but it sounds like her new show is about to get canceled because the ratings are in the toilet. So she can go back and do her Activa commercials or whatever the heck else. She can write her children's books. I mean, she's not hurting for money, obviously. So I'm not worried about Jamie Lee Curtis. I still think Jamie Lee Curtis's best role was Trading Places, anyhow, not Halloween. So that's just my opinion. Where she played the hooker who helped Dan Aykroyd. I thought that was her big breakout role. She got out of all the horror movies and Terror Train and Prom Night, and that was her breakout role for me. And I think that's always going to be my favorite role for Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, I'm not going to keep you much longer. We are going to see what the fans have to say about this little mini podcast. And if they respond well, then, we'll be back. So, I would like to thank you for being on here. And I wish you luck on your channel as well. So, to all the subscribers, please go subscribe to Cinema World, hosted by Gregory Hiller, and I'll put the link in the description box. And Greg, thank you again for these, these interviews. I can't comment as to what's going on at this point on my channel. That's something that you and I are going to have to discuss in private, but I can't discuss it here on the channel. I want to say thank you again for talking me into getting Marcus Dunstan. I didn't think he would do it, but he did it. So shout out to Marcus Dunstan if you're out there.
I'm going to give a shout out to the number one Michael Myers guy on YouTube and Facebook, and that's Darnell. He's very dedicated to this franchise, and I'm dedicated to a number of franchises, as people have seen, like Aliens and Buffy and Halloween and Star Trek and Star Wars. And to all your viewers, have a happy and safe holiday, happy and safe New Year. Hopefully we'll get some good news on Halloween in 2016. That's what we can all hope for. And we'll see the return of Michael Myers in some form or another. Thank
Oh,
you.
definitely. And before I go, I just want to say that if you want to do Buffy, I will gladly be on your channel to where we can discuss this Buffy the Vampire Slayer that you seem to love so much.
It's a wonderful series of what I call feminine empowerment. I think if not for Buffy, you don't have Wonder Woman or Supergirl or Jessica Jones or a lot of the strong female television people that are female heroes that you have on television today. Buffy set a type, and that series, I watch it pretty much every week on, I forget the name of the cable channel, but it's on like a marathon kind of thing. And whenever it's on, I watch it. It was very well done. Josh Whedon is awesome. He did great with the Avengers. He's done great with Buffy. He's done great with Firefly. And so again, thank you, Darnell. Bless you, and bless your viewers, and best wishes to you and your channel.
Same to you. Thank you, sir, for being here. We'll be back next week. If you're willing to come back, that is. We will be back for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a retrospective. How does that sound? Do you have anything going on, or
whatever the heck comes into our minds between now and next
right,
week?
you know.
you never know on Movie Land what the heck, Kelso. Well, I have a lot in my head. I have Batman versus Superman in my head. I have a lot in my head. I have Captain America: Civil War in my head. There's a lot in my head. There's Oscar time. I'm thinking, what were the best movies of 2015? What were the worst movies of 2015? So there's a lot in my head. We're coming up on the new year.
Oh, and don't forget about Terminator.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Please, don't mention. I haven't eaten dinner yet. Don't mention Terminator Genesis, please.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We will be back.
But anyways, I'm gonna get going, and I thank you for being on here. And the next time we're on here, we will be on your channel instead of mine. So
good. All right, you have yourself, hey man.
Yeah, thank you.
You take care.
All right, thank you again.
Good night.
Good night.